Hey guys, so we are live here at the Johnson Dermatology Makeup Room with Kaylee here on our right. She is our skincare coordinator and she is going to do a live Jane Iredale makeup application on Danny, our cosmetic coordinator. And so the first thing we're going to do is get Danny's skin ready for makeup. So what are you doing now, and tell us what you're using, Kaylee?
Right now I'm using the Magic Mitt by Jane Iredale. What it is, it's made up of tiny microfiber bristles and it just lifts the makeup up. All you have to do is apply water to it. There's no solvent necessary. We really like this for the skin because it's gentle and it kind of eliminates that possible irritation that you would get from a makeup remover.
And Danny has acne prone skin, and so we know that if we use anything harsh on her skin, that could flare her acne. So this is a gentle way that we can clean her makeup off and clean her face without using a washcloth or a harsh loofah or something that could cause inflammation and flare her acne. So now that she's all clean, what is the next step we're going to do?
The next step, a thing that you can use for acne-prone skin is a liquid primer. It's not too heavy. You do want to steer away from anything that's heavy or thick. That way it doesn't irritate any of the acne. And Danny has oily skin, so I'm using the Jane Iredale Smooth Affair for oily skin.
Perfect. And if you didn't have oily skin and had dry skin, was there another
We
option?
just have a basic all-around Smooth Affair liquid primer for normal type skin.
Perfect.
So I'm just going to apply all over.
And what are you using to apply it?
I'm using a foundation brush. You can use your fingertips. I prefer to use a foundation brush because it's not as messy.
Is there anything that we should avoid when applying our makeup? Like sponges or anything?
You can use a sponge as long as you cleanse it regularly. If you're using brushes or sponges, be sure to cleanse them. Deep cleanse them at least once a week and cleanse them out after each use with a gentle spray. So after the primer, we can go ahead and add a powder. I'm using Jane Iredale's 4-in-1 Pure Press Powder. This one is a foundation, concealer, sunscreen, and powder all in one. So even with acne-prone skin, you can still build a really good coverage with it.
And a lot of times we see patients that come in here and are using really thick liquids to try to cover their acne. Danny has a great skincare regimen as a base, but she also uses a light makeup that won't flare her acne. And Kaylee always does free skincare color matching. And so you can come into the clinic and Kaylee can show you actually how well that does cover. And you can even tell looking at Danny now, looking at it's her left side, our right side, compared to her right side, our left side. You can see the difference there of the coverage that she has on this side compared to this side. So it looks really good, Danny. You're getting good coverage. Oops, sorry. Tell us what skincare products you use, Danny.
My nightly regimen is to wash my face. I have a medicated sulfa cleanse that I use. I follow that up with another acne medicine followed by retinol and a Cetaphil moisturizer. And then in the morning I cleanse my face with a separate medicated cleanser and I apply, and then I do my sunscreen every single day. I'm missing good stuff. I also do TNS at night.
And the TNS that Danny's talking about is a product that we use that helps with fine lines and tightening of the skin. Beautiful. What's next?
So we can apply a blush next. I like to use the brush that's called just the blush brush. It's the white fan. It just allows you to give a little bit of color without it being too heavy. Looks more natural.
And these, I'm going to try to zoom in on our Jane Iredale blushes here because they're all so pretty and blush is so fun. So that brush always confuses me. So tell me how you use it.
I'm really just finding her cheekbone here and I'm just going with the cheekbone and I'm laying a little bit of color on here. And then if you ever do too much, don't fret. You can always blend it out with a blending brush.
Will you show us the end of that brush?
Yes. And this one is amazing because it's super soft on the skin.
So it doesn't irritate. Great. So what are colors that are hot for blush this summer?
People are really into the bright pinks for blush, and neutrals. So we have quite a few different pink ones, and we have 2 neutral ones that you can choose from, but this cheeky one has been really popular lately.
Ooh, I like.
So next we'll go to the eyes, and I'm going to use a liquid eyeshadow primer. You can use this as an eyeshadow or you can use it as your primer. It'll help prolong the wear of the eyeshadow, and it just kind of smooths everything out.
So do you put it over the entire lid?
Yes.
Up to the brow?
Yes.
Okay. How does it feel going on, Danny?
Smooth.
It's not
Very
thick.
light. Very light.
And so some people use just this as their eyeshadow.
Mhm.
And then
Some people only like a cream for their eyeshadow, that they don't like the powder, but it's really your personal preference on which way you go with that. And Danny has long, full lashes because she uses the Latisse.
Latisse is a prescription medication that you apply once a day to your lash line that lengthens and thickens and darkens your lashes. Be on the lookout for some Latisse specials coming up soon.
It's not sticky either.
It's not. So Danny has blue eyes, and purple makes blue eyes pop really easily. So anybody who likes purple, I always try to put purple on their eyes, especially if they're blue.
What colors do you recommend for different colors eyes?
Green, you can go with neutrals. Green's a lot like the blues. You can get away with pretty much anything with green or blue eyes. Brown eyes, you can do pinks or greens as well. So I'm taking this kind of middle color here, and I'm going to apply this all to the lid.
So when I get these palettes, it always confuses me on where to put which color where on the lid. Do you have tips for that?
Yes, you want your lighter colors to go towards the inside of the eye, about right here, so it brightens the eye and doesn't darken it unless you're going for that darker smoky eye. And then your darker colors, they're going to go towards the outside of the eye. So like your blacks and this deeper purple, I'm going to put those on the outside.
And which brush are you using now?
This one, I'm just using the chisel shader. It's short and it's fluffy, and it allows you to kind of just pack on a lot more color with it.
Will you use that for all the colors on the inside of the eye and the outside of the eye?
No, I'll actually use different brushes for the outside of the eye. Jane Iredale has it's called a crease brush, and it does all of the work for you. So you really don't have to do much. You just kind of have to throw it on there, and it looks great.
So would you recommend to use this kind of thicker, shorter for the light color?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So now I'm going to apply this darker color to the outside of her lid. And I'm using this brush. It's like this. It's fluffy, and it's called the crease brush. And I kind of want to tap off that excess because I don't want to make it too dark. So I keep my pinky here just for stabilizing my hand, and I'll just follow her crease and swoop it down. So I'm kind of making a side V.
And which color palette from the Jane Iredale are you using?
This one is called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes.
So this is the crease brush you were talking about that does the work for getting the shadow into the crease where you want it, right?
Yes.
And tell us what our Jane Iredale special is that's going on right now.
This month, with a $150 purchase of Jane Iredale products, you'll get a free makeup bag, It's pretty big. The bottom half of the makeup bag has a zip pouch, and whenever you open it, it has slots for your individual brushes for storage.
And that's a gift with purchase.
Yes.
Cool. And I would say overall at Johnson Dermatology, our theme is to keep you looking really natural. When it comes to Botox, when it comes to fillers, when it comes to makeup, we want you to feel like you still look like you at your best and your skin to feel good too.
So now I'm going to take the lightest shade here and I'm going to put this underneath the brow bone to accentuate her brow, and then I'll put it on the inside of her, on the corners of her eyes, just to kind of brighten the eye a little bit. You can also use this color to help blend out any imperfections in the darker parts of the eye. That way if you ever go too dark, it's an easy fix with that.
And people can call and schedule to have color matching done and a cosmetic consult with Kaylee free of charge anytime. You can just call the clinic at 649-3376 and ask for Kaylee. And come meet her and check out our awesome makeup room and all our Jane Iredale products. Beautiful.
So our eyeshadow's done. We can do brows.
Okay, let's do it.
So Danny's brow here is a little bit lighter, so I'm going to use the Jane Iredale blonde eyebrow kit. This one, we have a blonde and a brunette. The brunette is quite dark, yes. So what it comes with a wax. This is to go on first. It's going to brush through the hair. It's going to help kind of make the hair all go the same way, and it helps your powder hold to that as well, so it stays on longer.
So will you show us that little brush that it comes with? Because it looks like it has two sides.
Yes, this one, it's got your, what you put the wax and the powder on with.
Okay.
This side is to comb it out, just to kind of blend it in to make it look more natural.
Perfect. So first you're going to put the wax on, right?
Yes. Great. So we'll just brush it through. And you don't have to put a lot on.
And so you mentioned that they have a blonde and a brunette,
Yes.
but I'm a brunette and I use the blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know why I do that?
It's really personal preference.
Okay.
Some people like a darker, bolder lash. So even if your lash or your brows are really dark, you can put the dark one on there and it just kind of makes them bolder.
Yeah.
The blonde, it makes it look a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
With a darker brow.
That's what I was thinking. When I use the brunette on myself, even though I have very dark hair, the blonde just looks more natural on me. So somebody asked, is this brand of makeup cruelty free?
Yes, it is. There were no animals harmed in the making of any of this makeup. It's also talc free, which I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's not. Talc is something that is an irritant towards acne, but whenever it's talc free, it's going to be good for any acne prone, rosacea, or anybody with skin sensitivities as well.
Great. And the brand of makeup that we're using right now is Jane Iredale. And yes, it is cruelty free. We appreciate the questions. So the reason you're doing her brows is to keep them where she wants them and to color them and make them kind of pop, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of people forget to do their brows.
Yes. Brows really shape your face. So it's always best to kind of just give them a little extra oomph if they're not as dark as you want them.
Some people put their lattice on their brows to make their brows longer and thicker and darker too.
Okay, so I've filled them in with a little bit of color. I'm just going to brush through them just to make it look a little bit more natural.
Perfect. Are you ready for some lipstick, Danny?
Of course.
Okay.
So picking colors of lipstick is always fun, but sometimes when I am picking the colors. I get overwhelmed, and then I put them on and they look different on me than they look in the container. So what are your tips on picking lipstick colors?
Whenever you're picking a lipstick, first I like to ask, what colors do you like the most? And then I like to see which colors you like the least. That way I know what to steer from when I'm recommending a certain color. If you have a lot of red in your skin and you don't like to show that out, it's always best to steer away from anything that's red, so you could go with something a little bit more neutral.
And then what all do we have here? Because everybody likes lip gloss or lipstick or crayons, so show us the different.
Okay, so
options.
up here we have lip stains. They have a stain with a gloss on the end. And then these here are going to be just regular glosses. We have our lipsticks here, lip plumpers, and then we have our lip crayons here. These sharpen, and you can just sharpen them and reuse them until they're gone.
Perfect. So what did you pick for Danny?
I have Ashley, but I think the Sharon looks really pretty with her skin tone. It's a more neutral color, but it does have a little bit of pink to it. And Danny mentioned to me that her lips were kind of dry, so I'm going to use a lip drink underneath. What the lip drink is, it has an SPF 15 in it, and it's really just a chapstick with SPF in it. So I'll put that one on first, just to kind of moisturize, and then I'll put her lipstick on.
And we all know that the lips can sunburn too, so we all want you guys putting on your sunscreen every morning and your sunscreen on your lips. Don't forget. That's something that's easy to forget. So we moisturize with a good chapstick with sunscreen in it, and now you are applying Sharon?
Yes.
Which is a nude. This is one of my personal favorite colors. Does she have a liner on?
She does not.
So when do you decide to use liner or not use liner?
It's really personal preference if you want to. A liner is going to help prolong the wear a little bit. Some people don't like the drying effect a liner can have, so they'll just stick with a lipstick. Since her lips were dry, I didn't put one on her. So I just did the lip drink and a lipstick.
And with the lip liner, do you have to buy it with the lipstick same color, or do you usually recommend mixing it or trying to match it closely?
I like to mix it. So sometimes I'll do same color, sometimes I'll go a little bit darker, do more of that ombre lip, or you could go a little bit darker and fill it all over the lip, and it'll make your lipstick a little bit darker as well. Just kind of mix and match. Sometimes I'll put a pink liner with a red lipstick, and it makes it more of that magenta color. So you can just kind of mix and match and play with it and see what works for you.
Great. Well, I think Danny looks beautiful. Thank you, Kaylee, so much for teaching us about the Jane Iredale makeup and all the makeup tips. And you guys come see Kaylee and see all of our great Jane Iredale makeup products in person. And this month, if you spend $150, you will get a free makeup bag with your purchase. Have a great evening, guys. Take care.